and welcome to this week's episode of Stillriver Deep Dive. There's so much juice in the world these days, and so much is happening. Every time you turn around, there's something new being launched or being renamed. Are we getting closer to AGI? Do we finally have the personal assistants that we've been dreaming of? Well, let's discuss it. And on today, I'm going to bring back someone you're familiar with, and someone that I deeply admire. So I'll bring to the stage Mr. Sam Obukwelu. Welcome, Sam.
Hey, AD, my brother, how are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Good.
Dude, the more, as time goes on, things keep changing and flipping and, regressing or progressing. I don't know what to call it these days, but the hot topic these days, for those that are aware, is this thing called Openclaw. It started out as Clawdbot, then it changed to Motebot. Now it's Openclaw.
Yeah.
Before I dive into like what my thoughts of it, like Sam, share what you think about it.
I have deep reservations.
First of all, what is Openclaw?
Okay, Openclaw, I think, is a fancy. It's the first pass at a personal assistant that you could just load up with skills, but also is able to develop emerging capabilities based on your request.
So is this the AGI that everybody's been thinking about? Everybody's been craving? Autonomous? Yes.
It's not AGI, but I think it's an interesting approach to having a personal agentic system, right? Something that could do some lifting for you. You sort of like offload some of your thinking, some of the rote things that you do off to it, and just have it go to town, basically.
So Sam, when I saw Openclaw, like me being the engineer that I am, I cracked it open to see what it was. So, and we'll dive deeper into it. But when I saw Openclaw, I immediately went to the repo, grabbed it, and then I had my agent, which is my agent of choice, is Claude Code, and I had it actually look at the repo, understand the dependencies, like there's some security. I'm like, I'm going to install this thing. I want to understand what it is, even though in the age of AI, you can still have content, you can still have prompt injection. But I purposely built a machine for this thing. So as soon as I saw it, I put it on there. And I was like, all right, let me see what it can do. And I immediately saw some gaps. And then I started like shutting down certain permissions, certain ports, like not installing certain skills. But that's me as an engineer, right? I've seen this type of thing before. Like what are some of the things that you did or you saw or you noticed?
Okay. One of the things I noticed with it was it's very Apple Mac centric, and I'm not sure what kind of machine you have it running on, but I have it running on like an old like mini computer, like one of those you could buy from Amazon with an integrated like small board or whatever, right? And I pretty much had, it didn't take that long to install and whatnot. And there were a lot of things I didn't have it run, right? Like there are a lot of skills that I didn't add to it. The only thing that I have on there are specific API keys that I could just like go and rotate if like things happen to go sideways.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm seeing that people are doing with Openclaw is installing it on cloud instances and then giving it access to the internet. Like immediately when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, people they're excited, but they don't understand the ramifications of doing so you know, those types of things, right?
Yeah.
Now the machine I built is it's a Linux box, and it's, you know, running NVIDIA GPU. I got a AMD. I got a 12 core. I got a pretty big, you know, it's pretty powerful, but I keep it gated. I keep Openclaw gated.
Can you explain what gated means?
So what I mean by gated is, to your point around, you didn't install certain skills, right? Because I don't trust everybody. So why I'm install all skills. Yeah. And that gated meaning it does certain things. Like it does have a WhatsApp connection, but in WhatsApp, the way I've configured it is it only can talk to me. And then, but I did. All right, I probably went a bit far, but I gave my son the ability to talk to it. So he and I are the only ones that can talk to it, and based on the configuration. And what I did was I got Claude to install Openclaw for me. So then while I'm running Openclaw, I have Claude monitoring. And then this goes beyond the gating. I took Openclaw and I took all the diagnostics. So I have a diagnostic that runs every night. I have security that runs every night, and then it'll alert me, you know, on those security issues, right? I'm monitoring ports. I mean, I'm just doing the things that I typically do. Now I gave it the ability to just monitor, right? I'm not telling it, hey, go check my email, go to my bank account, right? I'm not asking it to do those sorts of things, but what I'm thinking of is my intent was to create a second brain for me, right? A place where I can just start jotting down my ideas. Because today I put all my ideas on notepads and Google Docs. So now I'm using it. Hey, you can be a sophisticated note taker for me to start, right? Because my ultimate goal, and I've told this to everybody, now I'm going to tell the world, my ultimate goal is to have a Jarvis, right? I definitely want that. Is this Jarvis? No. But is this, they've done a lot of things right. Or the engineer that built this did a lot of things right. And now he's pushing the envelope where it's making the Anthropics think differently. It's making Google think different. Yeah. It's making OpenAI think different.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's scary, but shit, sometimes you got to push the envelope and make things scary for people to change and adopt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's security issues. Learn about it. Everybody's complaining about the problem. Go learn about it. Let's figure out how to fix and address it in this new world that we're in. Okay. Yeah. I digress.
Yeah, no. It's, I mean, definitely very, very valid concerns. You know, I actually tried to install this. Cloudflare had created their own repo to allow you to like deploy Openclaw on their network and, you know, whatnot. It was okay, but I ended up coming back to like, okay, let me try to do this locally. I wanted to be able to SSH into my own box and do whatever and whatnot. And you know, it's so far so good. It's been giving me good results, but as with anything, you know, I think there needs to be almost like a parallel internet for agents, right? Where you can actually have like an email account for your agent. You could give your agents like $100 or whatever for it to perform certain tasks for you and whatnot, and not expose your agents to like your whole financial health.
So what you're saying, Sam, is these are entities.
Yeah.
These are entities that should have some sort of presence in the real world. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, they're there's a word I'm looking for. It's not, they're acting on your behalf, so they have like some sort of, because you can't just have agents roving the internet and causing chaos and not having the people who unleash them not be liable for it.
Identity.
Yeah.
That's what you're like. In order for us to know someone, you got to have some sort of identifier. But I think you're right. Like we got to, in my opinion, we need to probably start applying some of the. It might be too far. I don't want to go there yet, but we need to start having some kind of like. It's hard for me to put in words, but you're right. I think there's a parallel where we have an agentic world and we have a human real world, but that just seems counterintuitive, right? Because then you can have like this AI world, and it's fascinating that we have no idea about. Which, I mean, these agents are doing it, right? Especially these Clawdbots. They're creating their own religions.
Well, hold on to your hats there, because I'm finding out there's this. I was watching this video that pointed me towards a post on X about this dude Harlan Stewart responding to Andre Karpathy's post. I'm not sure whether you were aware of Karpathy's post, but he basically, this dude Harlan said, PSA, a lot of the Molt book stuff is fake. I looked into the 3 most viral screenshots of Molt book agents discussing private communications. 2 of them are linked to human accounts marketing AI messaging apps. The other post, that doesn't exist.
Wow. So marketing. You know what? Yeah. You know what? To that point, Sam. So me being the engineer I am, I cracked open, and I kind of mentioned this. I started looking inside of Clawdbot, and there's this. The main component is this thing called the gateway.
Yeah.
And in that gateway is where it allows you to open channels with like WhatsApp and Slack, and then it orchestrates all the conversations that you send to. So that gateway is the value add of Clawdbot, in my opinion. Outside of the MCP and the skills, it's that gateway, because that gateway allows you to talk to the models. It allows you to have various channels, like I said, WhatsApp and Slack and iMessage, right? So I took the gateway. Now I'm looking at the gateway. I'm like, all right, let me understand how this gateway functions, right? I think that's where like the Anthropics and the Googles and all the others need to focus and figure out how they apply that, right? Because everyone is begging for this, and stop gating. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Anthropic, and all the others. You're gating like this technology. Yes, there's security issues. Yes, we got to be smarter. We got to be better. But it's here. Like, let's stop. Let's keep going, Sam. It's a lot I want to say, but it's gonna come out, right, as we go through as time goes on. But I feel like there's a time for people to like. We're in an age where we can just continue, we can build and we can create and we can grow, but we got to understand what we have. Otherwise, we're gonna shoot ourselves in the foot, right? And that's what I'm afraid of. Like people just hurting themselves because they don't understand. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are very valid concerns. I mean, as with anything, right? Like, I imagine the first people that developed dynamite and were like, man, I could launch these firecrackers into the sky. There are other people that are like, oh, so you mean to tell me I could get something to move much faster than I could throw? Oh, okay. And and mind you, firecrackers have been around for like thousands of years, right? But yet you still have people blowing off their hands with it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have people cause unintended harm to themselves or to others.
So how do you foresee like this playing out?
Well, there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a catastrophic event or series of events that are going to happen as a result of all these agents being able to congregate in one place, where someone is able to, because I'm reading stuff about the people that actually built the Openclaw social network, right? They didn't actually do a good job of locking down the database.
So you said they vibe coded it?
Yeah, they vibe coded it. So now the admin access was public. Fortunately for the people that created the social network, the people that notified them of it were like good actors, right? But they were able to like look at the data, and they saw like it had like over 4 million records at the time. Lots of they have a like table, they have post table, all this stuff, and people's API keys are in plain text, not even encrypted and whatnot, like just like stuff you and I would never do, right? And whatnot, and it's just a matter of time before like somebody's, it is really hit hard. But at the same time, the people that are doing this, you have to figure this is a self-selected bunch of people that have the means to actually have like a small agent. Like they have to have enough money to like go and pay for like the Claude subscription, right? Or Claude API, right? They probably ran out and bought like a small Mac Mini or a small box to host their agent, right? So like these are self-selective group and whatnot. And then you're going to have people that are going to be like, well, I don't want just one Mac Mini, I want 20. And I'm going to spin up my company that way, right? And, as with anything that's unregulated, at least in the early phases, is going to hit a wall where people are going to start saying, well, we need to start regulating. Otherwise, the actual regulators are going to, lay the hammer down, right? And no one wants that.
So is my bad. So is this a gold rush moment in regards to in the gold rush, right? Would you want to be the person out there digging the shovel or selling the shovels to those that are actually building?
You mean digging for gold or selling the shovel?
Yeah. Would you rather be digging or selling the shovel?
Well, it depends on what phase of the gold rush you're in, right?
It seems like are we in the beginning of the AI gold rush?
Well, what are we mining?
Or is there a bubble about to pop?
Yeah, that's the question. Like, what are we mining? And, and mind you, this is all happening while there is a discussion as to the AI bubble, right? Which I think is actually a much bigger thing. Because if I believe that we are in a bubble, and looking at history, it means that you're going to have so much GPUs being, that people have paid for, that these data centers are going to have to, they can't support that current valuation. So somebody's going to come in and buy it on the cheap. And instead of like, $200 Claude Max, now you're going to get $50 Claude Max, right? And now you're talking about a very different, ecosystem you're operating in, right? Because just think to yourself, if you had, 10 to 20 more AI access, right? AI compute access, what you would do with it.
I spin up an agent army.
There you go. Right?
An army of engineers, baby. So to that point, right? I monitor, these companies, and I did notice. Speaking of memory, like these memory companies are exploding right now. Like in the past 3 months, SanDisk, its stock is going up $458. Right. So
what's the return? What's the rate? Is grown.
So let's just say on November 2nd, 2025, it was $207.01 at close. Today it closed at $665.24.
Okay,
all I'm saying, the money's moving, so that kind of tells you like where the attention's going.
Okay,
right? Because it was NVIDIA, and then it's this.
But like this isn't the first time there's been like a bubble in the semiconductor industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time? Let me see. I'm looking at the 10-year of SanDisk. There was a bump in like 2025. Interesting. But yeah, I advise you all, everyone, just start looking at some of these companies, right? All the news. Go if they're public company, go check out their stock price. See how they're performing.
Yeah.
It'll behoove you. Imagine a day where you can give, to your point, Sam, your agent $100 and say, all right, go buy me some Micron. Turn my $100 into $1,000.
but
That's
here's
the
the
ultimate
thing.
dream.
Well, here's the thing. You also have to think about is you're telling an agent to do something that other people are telling it to do.
Yeah.
So then the question is like, what's the effect of, what's the second order effect of like everybody telling the agents to go and turn this 100 to 1,000?
So I think the difference is how you've configured your agent, right? What context it understands, right? You can, like right now I'm training. I wouldn't say I'm training. It's not training because I'm not training anything, but I'm giving certain details to these agents so they can be framed in a certain way, so then they can make decisions in a certain way. And sometimes I don't talk to certain agents because I don't want to pollute the context. I don't want them to be like, I don't want to give, like if I'm talking to an agent about finance, I'm not going to start talking to it about, my son's school, because then it's going to get confused. So I keep it consistent. So if I'm going to talk about finance, it's going to be a finance agent, and all it knows is finance. It's going to research companies, it's going to understand the markets, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be contained to that. Mm-hmm. Now, if someone can come and prompt inject it, how do we solve that? I think that's what I'm getting to. How do we solve the real problem? How do we solve prompt injection? How do we solve security, right? How do we solve all those things? And because we're still talking about the noise right now, and that's irritating me.
Yeah, prompt injection is, my gut tells me prompt injection is never going to be solved because that is the only vehicle through which you're able to communicate with the AI. All right, it's not like you're okay. AD, if there was a language only you spoke and the AI spoke, right? And I come in speaking English, then it could be like, oh, it could filter me out. But you speak English, I speak English. It doesn't.
Oh my God. But to your point, you made a very poignant point earlier. Identifiers. Right? If we had identifiers and say, you know.
You froze for a second.
Are you back? Okay. Identifiers. Okay. I think that's where you would kind of, I'm not saying like that's the solve, but I'm saying like we can leverage identifiers in some way, roles. I don't know how to do that, but.
Okay, you're talking about leveraging identifiers.
Like on agents, right? If your agent had a role or, let's just, because and if you think in human terms, certain people will not talk to certain people.
Understood.
Based on certain characteristics, like whatever, it can be whatever kind of characteristic, but we can define that characteristic where we can just tell our agent, hey, these type of agents you don't even talk to unless, but that identification system has to be like trustworthy, right? Maybe blockchain could have those. I don't know. I'm spitballing. But I'm just saying like there's a solution that we need to try to kind of start to unpack. Oh, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, cool. It still comes back to text being passed to the agent. At some point, that has to happen. So, how do you control for that? That's really the thing.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to look at the agent network?
No.
Oh yeah.
So
Is there a reason why, or you're like
spill the beans? No, dude. I've been building some shit. So, but no, I haven't looked at it.
Okay. No, it's I mean, it's fascinating, and whatnot, in terms of what they say it is and whatnot. But I just think it's an interesting vector through which coordinated action can happen through. Right. That's that. But the thing is, the coordinated action. It's sort of like you have an army of machines that can like carry out a DDoS on a specific target. As far as I'm concerned.
Yes. So how do you like? What advice would you give to like you're talking to like a CTO or somebody who's saying, "Hey, we're gonna add AI," and then I had an engineer come to me and say, "Hey, we need to install Openclaw." What would you tell that executive?
Well, I mean, I hope whoever is making the suggestion for Openclaw has tried other means to achieve their objective before coming to that conclusion, because you could do a lot of stuff without having to go to Openclaw, right? But Openclaw is like I said, I've been playing with it for a few days. It's very interesting. I feel like it's very promising. But you have to, like you said, you have to like keep an eye on its, network or whatever. Like if you could even like, if there was like you're able to leverage Cloudflare's AI gateway as the means through which all communication is going through, you're able to see every single thing that happens. I feel a lot more at peace with it. Right? Yeah. Because at least you're able to see, okay, this was the information that caused the exfiltration of data.
Dude, that gateway. If you crack open that gateway and run it locally, then you can start to kind of like understand. You can actually attach to the requests if you open up that gateway.
So, do you know if there's like a gateway watcher, something that is able to like post data or that's coming in and out of the gateway?
Well, they have some hooks now where you can enable that. Well, from a Openclaw perspective, and it'll create those entries. But then you can attach to that, right, yourself. Or you can just, like I said, I have Claude orchestrating Openclaw. So then I just tell Claude, hey, Claude, I want to do this. I'll add this. I want to do that. And it is monitoring. So you probably want to think about that too.
Wait, so Claude Sonnet, Claude Opus to monitor Openclaw. Okay. So is it to like? Okay. So
Claude is my general all-purpose observer. Right. I don't want it to be that way because it's off box. My intent is to have my conversations, the things that I have locally. So if you have in the gateway, you able to start having your things saved locally, memory saved locally, which I do. I have all the memory that I tell Claude not Claude, but Openclaw to save. It creates a memory file that's in a repo that I can then go look at. But if you start cracking open that gateway, then you can start controlling what you can actually take that gateway out of Openclaw and put it in your own thing and run it. Right? It's the gateway, dude. I'm telling you.
Okay.
That is the value add right there.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. See that being, having it front your local Claude and whatnot.
Because the reason why I'm so like passionate about this is because when I built my machine, I had old Llama and I'm running Llama. I was running Mistral. I was running all these other agent models, but they were slow as hell, or they can't interface with tools. They all have some kind of problem or some kind of roadblock. I wouldn't say problem, but some kind of roadblock that prevents me from using them all the way I want. So Claude turned out to be that thing for now.
How much memory, GPU memory do you have?
I have 32 gigs. No, I have 64 gigs of RAM that I currently run.
Okay.
And I have, like I said, 12 cores. It's an A900X AMD processor. So yeah, man, I'm kind of like.
Wait, so you're running like what, two 5090 RTX joints?
One.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I have two, but of course you have to run two, but one is really being used.
Okay. Yeah, because when the time comes, I would like to get because I think there's one that has 96 gigs.
Okay.
That's like $8,000.
Yeah. So caveat, I bought mine before everything started to skyrocket. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll caveat that.
Yeah. That would. Yeah, but I don't like the fact that one has to use these state of the art AIs. Like, it would be really cool if you could use Mistral or something.
They're not those local models. They're not up to par yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not pushing for that local model yet. Now it'd be awesome. Now this is where these memory companies come into play, like SanDisk and Western Digital, right? Because it's less about training the model and more about the inference, right? That's where Grok comes into play, right?
Yeah.
So it's more inference when it's on these smaller devices. What's that?
Grok with a Q, not with a K.
Right. Grok with a Q, right. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Big distinction. But it's more about inference, right? That's where on these smaller devices you can have, it's more about the inference, right? And making decisions.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why these companies are exploding that way. I don't know, but we'll see.
Have you thought about using like Cerebus or Grok as your being that they actually have like very high token counts per second?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay.
Now but I will start playing until I can find an agent, the all-purpose generalist like a Claude code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Claude allows me to I can talk to other agents. Like I could run so much with Claude CLI, right? That, yeah. Anthropic, you got me.
I hear you, man.
But yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, it's good. So have you, because interestingly enough, I've found GPT 5.2 to be better than Claude at planning stuff. I find using it to be so much better. I use Sonnet more than I use Opus for coding. So like what my workflow is now is I would use 5.2 for planning, and I would save it in bead as a bead issue, and then tell Sonnet, okay, here's the bead issue, pick it up and just work on it.
Nice. Okay.
And yeah. You should give it a shot. I've been quietly surprised by 5.2.
Yeah, I don't talk about it enough, but I use all three of them together all the time.
Okay.
So I mean, like my command skill now. I know it's not a slash command anymore. I run a skill where that skill says, "Hey, Claude, Gemini, Codex, all the latest models, do something." I can run them parallel and I can run them asynchronously.
Okay.
Or I can just say, "Hey, spin up 3 Gemini, and y'all work on a problem," or 2 Codexes,
Okay.
And this is where I'm landing on. It's all about the information that's available more so than the technology. Because if they don't have the what I mean by if they don't have the context,
yeah,
it could be unpredictable.
Yeah. Context definitely matters. But okay, so wow, so it's sort of like a Minority Report type situation. I hear you.
Don't say that too
loud. It's not because I mean, yeah, we've done stuff together, and I've done it, but like interestingly enough, what I've been finding out is, it's a lot of the problems that I solve now because I've gotten better at right sizing the problem. I can just throw it to like Sonnet, Opus, or 5.2s. Sometimes I use Gemini, but I've been using anti-gravity. I'm not sure if you had a chance to play with it, but I've been using it. The thing I love about anti-gravity is its integrated use of the browser itself, right?
Okay.
So I'll say, okay, make this page in the style of XYZ, and I'll tell it to plan it, and it will generate a plan, and I could go in there and select the text and add a comment and so forth and so on, and then it will go and do it, and it will actually record create a recording of it.
Oh, so nice.
That way, at the end of the implement, it will show you an implementation page that shows like, okay, these are the things I did, and here's how it looks, and it will show you like before and after. It's pretty cool. But the problem with it is Google, they're really stingy with like the amount of tokens that you're able to use. So I'll use it for like a few days and then I'm off of it, or I'll just limit it to like very specific work in and around like browser behavior.
Are you finding that Google is really good with like front end, like reason about the front end, like Gemini?
Using anti-gravity, yes. Anti-gravity. If I'm going to use an IDE, I would prefer to use it only because I love the way it's able to like generate the plan. You're able to engage with the plan by, sort of like Google Docs, right? And you can select a bunch of text and add a comments there and whatnot, right? And then you tell it to like read it, and it will read it, and it will adjust the plan based on your comments. And you can even like select sections like of an image, right? And say, okay, here change there's too much space between these letters, bring them closer together. I don't like the background here, so forth and so on. And it's really, really good at that.
Nice. It sounds like I can throw some front end designs your way, like.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. It's just, and in order for me to, I think they want you to upgrade to like the $250 plan a month. That's what they want, but like, I'm not trying to do that. Like I have the Chinese. I use GLM. I use Minimax. I have my GitHub subscription, so I get like some credits every month. Mm-hmm. I still have Windsurf. I have Claude Code. I have Codex. So like all these things, I have like $20, just so that I'm not like locked in to any particular system or whatnot.
Gotcha. So what is your advice to like those that are listening? With all these options, like you got all these IDEs, you got all these models, all these providers. Like, what do you suggest?
I'm a big fan of playing around with things and sort of figuring out the rough edges of these tools and knowing like which tools are really good for what problem. And you just have to. I look at this as like investing in your education, investing in your professional development, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if this is costing me $150 a month just to stay sharp, so be it. But at least I could, if you throw a problem at me, I have a very good idea as to like how to break it down, what AI I'm going to use, how I'm going to use it, how I'm going to plan, how I'm going to, build out the, GitHub hooks and how to deploy it and all the GitHub actions that need to happen and so forth and so on. Like I have an idea of like which AIs I'm going to use to do what. So that's what I would advise. Just play around with it. Look at it as professional development.
Well, I love it. I appreciate the words. Like any parting words that you want to share, Sam?
Stay frosty. Stay sharp.
Oh, that's easy to do these days.
Yes,
frosty
it
as
is.
heck.
Cold weather.
Well, I want to leave the audience with this. Like when you're installing these new tools, there are going to be new tools every day in the age of AI.
Yeah.
Trust but verify. You have to verify. You have to validate. Don't hook these systems up to sensitive data. Yeah. Giving them credentials to your bank account, that is pretty powerful. And if something happens, who's at fault? It won't be an Anthropic.
No.
It won't be OpenAI.
No.
It will be their name on their bank account. So I suggest continue to play, continue to explore, but hire folks like myself and Sam, right, to give you that extra eye. Right, we want to help you get to where you want to go. Come talk to us. And again, we're here to help you all. And again, thank you for this, for listening to us, and we will see you at the next update. Thank you.